Hello everyone, Necropolis here, and welcome to my build guide for my Ascended Dual Duelist. I'm gonna start by going over my normal skill tree, then I'm gonna go over my Ascendancy skill tree, then my gear, then the gems I'm using. And as always, if you have any questions about something or you think I forget something, please feel free to ask me in the comments. So I'm gonna start with my normal skill tree. Starting as a duelist, took the life and physical attack damage. Took the life and armor here. Took Master of the Arena, Bravery, Art of the Gladiator, Devilish, and I worked the whole way down here to take Cloak and Chain, Golden's Blood. Then I took this whole dual wheel here, which are Blade Barrier and Armour Dexterity. I also have iron reflexes, so I can be more flexible in my gear. I can use evasion gear and it will give me armor. But if you don't have any evasion gear on you, you don't have to take this one, so you can just drop this one. And then use the points on something else, like taking these two nodes here. Moving on, I went down here, and if you have enough intelligence and dexterity on your gear, you don't have to take these two. If you have enough dexterity, don't take this one. If you have enough intelligence, don't take this one. So take only these two if you need intelligence and dexterity. I went down here to take Armour for 30, and I'm going to explain Rampant later when I show my Ascendancy skill tree. I took Bloodless, I took Unwavering Stance, I took Lust for Carnage to get back more life. I took a Juggernaut, I took Barbarism, I took a Resolute Technique, I took Strong Aim, I took Born to Fight, Heart of the Warrior, Warrior's Blood, and also have Diamond Skin and Armor Mastery. You don't have to take Diamond Skin, you can drop it if you have enough elemental resistance on your gear. You don't have to have Diamond Skin, just make it easier to fill out your elemental resistance. I also have the melee damage here, attack speed, life and armor, and this life regeneration. Then I went up here to take Duality, Berserking, and all of these nice life notes here. I'm probably going to take Path of the Warrior as well. And now I'm going to explain something about Rampant on this build. First, I'm going to take a look at the Ascendancy skill tree. I choose to be a champion, but you can be a gladiator and a slayer. They will work just fine. Especially the gladiator if you want more block chance and have more protection against spell and all of that because of your high block chance. I start by taking Inspiral when I finish the labyrinth the first time, because it gives you a flat bonuses, and even your party members will get a bonus, which are really nice. And it also gives a nice movement speed. So when you first ascend, take Inspiral, this one, Inspiral, because it's a really nice note in the beginning. Then when I ascended the next time, I took Unstoppable Hero. And you can see on this one that I have 10% increase attack speed when I have Fortify, 8% increased movement speed when I have Fortify, and the effect of Fortify is increased. Also this one here gives me Armor Evasion and Fortify effect, so it makes Fortify even stronger. This one makes Fortify even stronger again and give me more Armor Evasion. And this one here give me Fortify, so I have always Fortify without needing to use the gem, which makes this character incredibly tanky against pretty much everything. And as you can see here, this one here give me damage when I increase physical melee damage when I have Fortify. This one give me damage. This way increase the effect of Fortify, increase Fortify duration, which does not apply. And Rampant, increase armor when I have Fortify, increase physical melee damage when I have Fortify, and increase the effect of Fortify again. So Fortify get increased a lot, so it's going to get a lot more powerful than it used to be. So that's making me incredibly tanky and pretty much everything. So if you have any questions about skill tree, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's take a look at my the gear I'm using. This build is free to use whatever one-handed melee weapon you want. You can use any type of melee weapon. There are no limitations. I like to use swords because they are fast, and this sword here is pretty nice. It have a nice amount of attack speed and physical damage, and that's the most important stat you need on your weapon for this build. You need as much attack speed and physical damage as possible. Don't get too much elemental damage. It will increase your damage, sure, but it will not give as much damage as physical damage will. And then I don't need any mana. Just to be really clear now, I don't need mana in this build, and I don't need blood magic because I'm using this weapon here. This is Soul Taker. It's an axe, but it is reskinned to have the crypt sword instead. So I just reskinned it, but it's still an axe, and have the effect insignificant mana doesn't prevent your melee attacks. As you can see now, I have 0 mana, and I can still use my attacks. I can use Lip Slam, I can use my Whirling Blade, I can use them whole day. I don't need mana when I have this weapon. So if one of you just want to know, I don't need mana when I have Soul Taker. If you don't have Soul Taker, which you probably don't, but if you have Soul Taker, you don't need Blood Magic. If you don't have Soul Taker, you need Blood Magic, but I'm gonna go over that more in detail when I show off my gems. But again, I don't need mana because I have Soul Taker. Moving on, I'm using this amulet here. Nothing special at all. It could be much better. That increased the global critical strike helps with absolutely nothing. Just an amulet I had. So I will probably change this amulet out. So it could be even better. I'm using this ring here. Again, nothing special, but it gave me some life and resistance. And that's the most important stat you need on your rings. It is life and resistance. If you can get some flat physical damage on them, that's even better. I'm using these defensive boots here. They are really good armor, good life, but it doesn't have any movement speed, so it could be even better. If you can get a pair of boots with movement speed, even more resistance, even more armor, and all of that, that's even better. I'm using Megladura's Girdle, but you don't have to use this. You can use a Rustic Stash, for example, instead. You can use a Leather Belt if you want even more life. So there's a lot of options, but this one is the best one if you want more damage. You also give a good amount of life, increased life, and gives some cold resist, and increases your flask's life regen. This ring here is a pretty nice ring. It even gives me some intelligence, and I should actually get intelligence on this one, and even some dexterity and intelligence on my amulet as well, and I don't need to take those 2 intelligence and dexterity nodes in the skill tree. But again, it gives me life and resistance. I'm using these gloves here, and they are actually really nice. It gives me a good amount of life and resistance, and I also have a mod there which gives me increase to 0.2% of my physical attack damage. It leeches as life. And also, when I ascended, I used the enchantment on this one, so this one caused an effect when I get hit by the enemies. And I also forgot I have enchantment on these boots here, but this enchantment does nothing for me. I just wanted to enchant them, but the enchantment I have on this one, it makes no difference at all. I just have it there. So now I'm gonna go over my the games I'm using. And again, if you have any questions about gear I just show you guys. Oh, I almost forgot, sorry. The helmet I'm using, which are the most important one. I'm using the Bring of Rain, a legacy Bring of Rain. And you don't have to use this helmet, but I really like it because it's basically a 6-linked or 7-linked item. And games in this item, I'm gonna go when I talk about the games, but this helmet is amazing. Give you a good amount of flat physical damage. It gives you a good amount of life. It gives you a good amount of block chance. It gives you It gives you a lot of benefits, but it makes that you can't use a chest armor. So if you're not using Bring of Rain, you can use a chest armor. This is just a white chest armor, just using it for leveling up gems in. So let's go with the skill gems I'm using. This build can use pretty much every single melee skill in the entire game, with some few exceptions. My main skill I'm using, it is Dual Strike. It is supported by a melee splash, multi-strike, and added fire damage. It is also supported, because this is Bring of Rain, so it's also supported by melee physical damage, faster attacks, and blind. Blind do not doing so much for me because I'm using Unwavering Stance. But if you don't want to have Unwavering Stance, the blind will actually help you a lot. So the other games I'm using, I have my utility, which are Whirling Blades and Leap Slam. And they are both supported by faster attacks. If you don't have Soul Taker, you need to support these two, Leap Slam and Whirling Blades, with blood magic, so you can use them without your mana. I'm also using some auras. I'm using Hatred. I'm using Howl of Ash. Also using Howl of Ice. Howl of Ice do not give me that much damage, but I really like to use it because it's just fun to use, and I have some mana over. But if you don't using Howl of Ice, and if you're using blood magic, you can just drop the Howl of Ice and just use these skills here without with the mana you have left. The games I have on my armor, it's nothing special. I just have a life on hit, which I sometimes switch out for added fire damage when I need more survivability and damage is not that important. I have an enlightenment, I have a dominating blow, purity of fire, life leech, and hypothermia. This is just gems I'm leveling up. I do not using them except for life gain on hit and sometimes purity of fire when I'm fighting against Siri. So that's just leveling. I'm using a Blood Rage setup, which are Blood Rage supported by increased duration and blood magic, so I can always use it, which are a good damage increase. I have a cost on damage taken setup, which are a level 1 cost on damage taken, which supports Molten Shell and a Warlord's Mark, which are pretty much my favorite setup for cost on damage taken in this build. And that's pretty much all my gems. If you have any questions about the gems I'm using and all of that, and if you have suggested what you can use, feel free to ask me in the comments. It will be fun to read that. Another thing that I always forget when I'm doing my build guides, it is what the bandits I helped and what bandits I killed. In normal, I helped Orc to get more life. In Cruel, I helped Kratin to get more attack speed. And in Merciless, I just kill every single one of them to get the skill point. And that's pretty much my build guide for this character. If I forget something, feel free to ask me in the comments, and thank you all for watching.